One. Yo, everybody. It's Tuesday morning and great to have you with us. One thing I should say right at the offset, Brandon, is we are absolutely beyond thrilled with the amount of response that we've gotten to our show. I mean, people are reaching out to us all over the country
It's
saying, hey,
crazy.
we really like sharing some time with you guys.
It's crazy how much we've seen the interaction and the viewership go up, or listenership or whatever they do. Yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool to experiment. And I got to say too, right now I'm in the process. We'll probably be up later this week or next week. We'll be on Twitch. So look for everybody, that's all you gamers out there that are streaming, that you're playing video games, you're on Twitch, you're watching podcasts, watching shows. Trash Talk Frisco will be on Twitch. Details soon.
We are really jumping into the pool of platforms.
Yeah, and I have Twitch for me, I understand it. My buddy David and his wife do Twitch a lot. They're big gamers. I'm not a big gamer, I don't have time for it. I like it. I'm just not a big gamer, but our good buddy over at TMG, Travis, said, hey, you guys really, honestly, you guys would be awesome on Twitch. So we're going to do it. Just another way to reach out and get into the masses.
That's right. But I mean, some of the comments that have been coming in, Lord knows there's millions and millions and millions of podcasts out there on all platforms and all different subject matter, and it's really nice when some people reach out and say, you guys are a breath of fresh air. You're funny, you're edgy, sometimes you're controversial and all, but we just really enjoy spending a little bit of time with you.
Well, it's there is a lot. I even find myself listening to more podcasts over the past 6 months than I ever have. There's just some really good material out there.
Yeah. Well, and also you've had more podcasts than what you currently have. You've kind of put a couple of them on the shelf or in the closet or whatever.
Yeah, you've been there where you try different things and you realize, okay, it's a good idea, but maybe you can just make that part of your main one. And I got a little wild there in the beginning, and I was like, you know what? And you've talked to me about it. Let's just really focus on what you're into, what you're good at, and what's working, instead of stretching all over the place. And I'm happy to be a guest on other podcasts, but I think where I'm at right now is good.
Just stay in that zone for a while. You can always go back and resurrect something that you did before and do it. But you know what? All of that really kind of brings us to the subject of today's discussion, and that is entrepreneurship. That when I look at you and all that you do, I guess the word entrepreneur does pop up. And I often wonder, what is an entrepreneur? I mean, the definition is somebody that really kind of controls a corporation or whatever, and part of it says will accept a little more of the financial risk. Well, I guess anybody like both of us that goes out and tries something that costs a few bucks, I guess that makes us entrepreneurs, whether it works or not.
It's a phrase that I feel like over the last, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, that everybody's throwing their label as I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm like, so in one aspect, it's really exciting because times have created a whole new way to make money, make income, and follow your passion. But in other aspects, when somebody says to me, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I got to be real with you. I'm going to catch some flack. I just look at them as, so you don't do anything. So you're lazy, right, is what you're telling me.
You did something at one time,
but you're not that anymore.
Yeah, and you made a few bucks off of it, and now you got nothing to do, so that makes you an entrepreneur.
I used to know this idiot, and I don't like him at all, so I'm not even going to say his name, but he's not worth it. But he was one of those guys well, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm like, okay, well, what? I'm interested. Like, what if you tell me your history? When I first met
Yeah.
this guy, and he could never give me like an example. Well, I started this, and I've been looking into this, and I thought about this, and I'm like, dude, I sit around and think about crap all day long. I must be the biggest entrepreneur in the world because I haven't done it.
Yeah. But I always think that somebody that's kind of the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who's got a resume that's like 3 pages long. They've had 40 or 50 jobs, never held any of them more than about 6 months. And all. So that kind of makes them an entrepreneur, because I just try things. You know,
I give people credit. I don't want to bash the real ones out there. I love somebody that says, man, I just have this idea and I believe in it, and I'm going to go sink my teeth in it, and I'm going to try it. Like, whether I get it or not, cool. If that's what you believe in and that's what you go for it.
probably a good example of entrepreneurship on both ends is the TV show Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Because the millionaires that are sitting on one side are all really considered entrepreneurs. They're self-made millionaires, and now they're sitting and they're willing to invest some of their money to help others. And then the other side of the show is all these people that come through the door that have all these great ideas about how to make things better in products or services that they offer, and all. They all consider themselves entrepreneurs because they're out there going to really testing the waters to see if it's going to work.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there in anything you do, especially in front of those guys, to try and make it. So, I mean, my hat goes off to anybody who does that, but we're seeing a lot of that nowadays. We're seeing these people that have created, ways to make money. The internet's been huge for that.
Right.
I mean, if you want to do a prime example on that, it does take work, but just look at TikTok. Look at the people that have gone on TikTok that have started out making something just fun, and now has 5 million views, 6 million views, 12 million views, and now they're sponsored by TikTok. They're verified, and now they've created a product line. They've got a sponsorship. I'm grateful just on my little minuscule world for my sponsors. I blow when I wake up every day to record a podcast that I just really enjoy doing, and I find out that some person is paying me to sponsor. I'm grateful, like blessed. So I can't imagine what some of those TikTokers who are making more money doing less work,
That's I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think that's what entrepreneurship is really all about. It's getting paid to do very little. Find an income stream for a way that you can really kind of get away. And the pandemic has certainly launched an awful lot of that.
You know how many 18-year-old girls who can't dance right, half naked on TikTok are making thousands? I mean, just look at OnlyFans. I'm about to start an OnlyFans just get on there and show like different coffees that I drink every morning and see if somebody will pay for me. Because, dude,
Right.
you've got every Frisco mom out there when their husband goes to work creating an OnlyFans. I mean, thank you, COVID.
That's right. Yeah. You've given me an outlet to express
Like, oh, look,
myself.
There's our neighbor, Mrs. Smith. Oh, whoa, I didn't know she could do that.
Well, she couldn't, but now she can.
Hey, the pandemic, God bless America.
But I think it's just it's almost a mindset. For instance, I do a lot of interaction with people on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Great website. If you go through and look at people on LinkedIn, almost half or more of them will list the word entrepreneur as part of their qualifications. They might be a life coach. They might be a meditation a provider or so. Maybe they are an author, but they also throw in the word entrepreneur. And There's one site, a guy every week lists people that are available for podcasts as guests on podcasts. And again, they are authors, they are people that have had experiences in their life that they want to share with other people, but they list themselves as an entrepreneur. And I wonder if it's becoming more of a generic word, instead of the Elon Musks and everything who Bill Gates and everything, who have made lots of money, and so they give a lot of it away, and that makes them an entrepreneur.
I think it is. I think it is becoming a generic term. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing anybody. I will never use it, even if I guess by the definition entrepreneur, I guess in a way we are that. But I will never put that in my profile anywhere, in my resume. I will never call myself that, ever.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that, because, as I say, I think it's become a more generic term that many, many years ago, an entrepreneur usually was somebody that had some wealth, they had some talent, they had they had created something that was accepted by the nation or the world or whatever. But today, almost anybody can be an entrepreneur. If you try something, you set up a lemonade stand on the corner and sell lemonade for 50 cents a cup and everything. Somebody comes by and says, "Oh, now there's an entrepreneur."
Yeah. Speaking of entrepreneurs, a movie, and you might have seen it. It's on Netflix, and I already forgot the name, but it stars Michael Keaton, who I love, and it's the story of McDonald's.
Yeah, the Ray Kroc story.
Great, phenomenal, but you want to see a guy that's an entrepreneur. Now, granted, he got a lot of flack. He stole, but he didn't do a lot of great things. But look, he was a pretty smart dude, and it was amazing what he did with McDonald's and the franchises, and when it came out, and how he realized that the burgers weren't the money. It was the land and the restaurant they were on that made the money to franchise. Anyway, that's a real good example and movie of an entrepreneur. Might be a little jerkish, but I liked him.
Well, but it's in the message. Look at people like what was his name? Was it Bob Thomas or something who started Wendy's?
Yeah.
And you got Colonel Sanders from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, they all became, it was a simple idea, one store that grew and everything, and they became entrepreneurs.
Well, I mean, and those are real. And I think, like you said, the generic throwing, like whenever I go and I see somebody's entrepreneur, I instantly get a bad taste in my mouth. And it's not fair, because there's some really good people that I know that have done a really cool things, or that's what they are. But when you put that on your business card, like, here's my business card, I'm an entrepreneur, that I used to get that at the bars all the time. Call me, I got some great ideas, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, great, dude. I'm never going to call you. And no offense, but I know you, I know where you live, I know what you drink, and you work at McDonald's. I'm not judging, but you're not an entrepreneur, bro.
But you know what? That when I see the word entrepreneur on a business card, what that kind of says to me is that I'm somebody that's really looking for a way to separate you from your money.
That's it. It's like entrepreneurs become the new pyramid scheme.
Right. I got a deal for you.
I got a deal. I'm going to need 500 up front, but I'll give you 1,000 back after I invest this.
Right.
And divide it 4.
And you'll get your own territory. And then if you bring in 2 or 3 more people and with their own territory, you're going to get this. You're absolutely right. The pyramid, the classic pyramid scheme was an entrepreneurial type of a ploy.
Man, I know a guy too that falls for that all the time. And he's a really good dude, and he's got a good heart. And normally I'm very blunt and all that. I don't have the heart to tell him. I know, shocking, right? I don't have the heart to tell him, hey man, I got to be real with you. You're not going to make money off this. It might be a good idea, but you're not the guy. I just don't have the heart. And he's always emailing me and texting me. He's not trying to like get me in it, but he's always like, hey, guess what I'm involved in now? And I'm like, oh, bro.
You know, my true definition of an entrepreneur is a guy who goes down on a street corner and he opens up his guitar case.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he takes out his guitar and he sits down on his little stool and he plays for people to throw change in his guitar case. You know,
Look,
that to
yeah.
me is a guy who's saying, I think I have some talent. And if you think so too, maybe give me a few coins. That makes him an entrepreneur.
He's either that confident or that desperate.
Well, yeah, you know, but how do you compare him as an entrepreneur against a guy like Elon Musk or you know, Bill Gates and all those other people? You know,
Well,
the word is the same. The definition is different.
You're right. At this point in my mind, I don't consider an Elon Musk an entrepreneur anymore. I mean, yes, are his ways cutting edge? Do I secretly think he's a James Bond villain and don't trust him? Yes. But he's made it. Like, he's successfully created, he flies into space for God's sakes and makes cars that nobody can afford. Like, he made it. I think he's got an entrepreneur mind. But I don't consider him an entrepreneur. To me, as an entrepreneur who's gone out there, threw it out there, made it, like, and trying to make it, and then they make it, and now they're success.
That's what we said earlier. Is he made it? He got lucky. He developed this company. He developed this auto line, and now he doesn't need to work another day in his life. So he can just sit back and he can just have people come to him every day and say, hey, here's somebody that's got an idea for this. Okay, give them 3 million to start up. You know, I'm an entrepreneur now. I just sit here and just direct.
Yeah, no, and I think I think so. But like you said, the guys and even the street performers, and you know, Chicago's pretty well, it was. I don't know about what's going on the last several years. Big in New York, Chicago, street performers, you know,
right.
California, Vegas, street performers. Those guys, some of them make serious money out there doing that. And it's like some of them have to get permits from the city to even do it, you know?
Right.
So that, to me, like, that's an entrepreneur. Like, you came up with an idea, whether I want to give you money or not, somebody's giving you money for it. You're an entrepreneur.
And they're the ones that walk out on the stage of America's Got Talent. And when they say, you know, what's your talent? How you've been doing it? Well, you know, I've been performing in the subways for the last 10 or 15 years.
Absolutely.
And now I'm on this stage and I'm showcasing who I am. You know,
guys, those guys got more guts, more commitment than 90% of the people out there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got somebody else that I think is also an entrepreneur, and that is Irving Chung, who is a franchise consultant. And what Irving does is to let you know that if you've got any kind of entrepreneurial skills or desires, and you think that maybe you'd like to own your own franchise, all you got to do is schedule an appointment free with Irving Chung and find out what kind of options might be there for you, because you might end up being an entrepreneur.
That's
and
right.
We thank him very much for sponsoring this show, because that makes him an entrepreneur. And I guess that makes us entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I mean, I've been called a lot of things. I don't mind being called that, I guess. I'm not going to put it on a business card.
Yeah, it's rare that you are called an entrepreneur.
I'll take it. Whatever.
Somebody calls Brandon an entrepreneur. He says, "What? What are you sure?" You know.
Yeah, I don't speak French. What are you doing?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. What do you? Are you sure you got the right Brandon?
Right.
Well, you got the right show, because this is Trash Talk, and we enjoy spending a little time with you each week. And we hope you'll be right here with us again next week to discuss whatever we decide we're going to discuss.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Go out and make it a good one. Bye.